What is up, guys? What is up? Welcome back to another edition of Leaders Lead and Winners Win. We're in the new digs, Pastor Rob. We did a couple episodes of Unboxed. We had Chris and I sitting here. Now this is solo. It's just you and I, baby. You and I, a desk, a couple knickknacks, if you will. There's a couple knickknacks. You helped decorate the place, which is good. And this is the first ever edition of Leaders Lead, Winners Win with inside of our new podcast studio. So we're super excited. And to be frank with you, I've been on 75 hard. I'm going to just quick update. Day 48, if I'm not mistaken, day 48 of 75 hard. 75 hard, if you didn't know, is 2-a-day workouts, 45 minutes apiece, one indoors, one outdoors, no drinking, sticking to a diet, 10 pages of reading, no audiobooks, Pastor Rob. I know you asked me that earlier. 10 pages of reading. I'm almost done with my fourth book. A gallon of water per day. Take a progress picture per day. No cheat meals, none of that bullshit. And it's been awesome. It's crazy how much muscle. I can't wait to show you guys. This will probably air before I get done. It will for sure. Can't wait to show you guys what that looks like. We've grown as a company, just kind of some updates for you. We've grown as a company quite rapidly. Right now, we have 11 folks. It was just me in February of last year, and you fast forward to 12 months from, it was 2/2/22 is our anniversary date. Today is, what's today, Rob? It is February 17th, 2023. So 1 year and just a couple weeks later, and we have 11 folks, which is super exciting at Kinfolk Home Loans. We've grown the right way, and I've learned a lot along the way. So much so that I'm so excited for this podcast. It's literally 12 things, leadership lessons or lessons in general. Leaders lead and winners win. So leadership lessons and winner lessons. So for you that I'm going to share with you, 12 of them that I've learned in 12 months of being in business and scaling from me to 3 to 7. Now to 11 folks with inside of the organization with hiring goals to be at 15 and 17 and then 20 by the end of the year, which is super exciting. So we've now encroached upon that small to medium sized business, which is really, really exciting. We had our best month ever. And it's because of these 12 things that I've learned the hard way. And I'm here to share with you these things so that hopefully you don't have to learn the hard way and you can learn from me. That's the whole point. I'm trying to give you my playbook so then I can still beat you with it. But then ultimately so that you can leverage and use it and build whatever you're looking to build. These leadership lessons and lessons in general over the last 12 months that I'm about to share with you, ultimately, you can use them in any realm. Whether you're an entrepreneur, meaning maybe you're a leader, or maybe you're a high performer at a company, or you're an entrepreneur and you have your own company, or maybe you're looking to build something, or maybe you have a side business that you'd like to leverage and use these lessons from. Hopefully, they find you well, they sit well, so on and so forth. So I'll get started. The first one is build it and then fill it. So I think a lot of times at least the last 12 months, a lot of times, I wanted to just grab people and bring people in and just, you're up, you're hired, like Oprah Winfrey. You get a car, you get a car. It's like, you get a job, you get a job, you get a job. And I had to refrain from that because I hadn't built anything yet. The reality was I hadn't made a few dollars, closed a couple loans, got a cool office, had some cool shit on Instagram and, had a little following and some interaction. But the reality is I hadn't built anything yet. I hadn't built the processes that were needed to then hire. We haven't built a sales POS, LOS, and CRM, now of which we've built a CRM with the help of Tomer. So shout out to you, buddy. Thanks for help. In Leverage, we literally have built a CRM. We hadn't built a comp plan or a comp structure, a way to track those things. Now we have it. We hadn't built a vision and a logo and a brand that was worth and exciting to rep, that was worth and exciting to be a part of, that was exciting to ultimately, showcase, so to speak. We didn't build anything. So instead of filling it and then building it, which is how a lot of businesses ultimately fail, we made a decision to build all of these things and get kicked in the fucking teeth doing it, by the way. Build the brand, build the processes, put pen to paper, go through trials, tribulations, get in the trenches, specifically myself, Connor, and Scott, who are the leaders of the organization, and Casey Fleming, who's our new CRO, Chief Risk Officer, which is really cool, super exciting promotion inside of the company. We decided to build it, and then now we're filling it slowly but surely with the right people. I think that's to go inside with the first lesson is you got to find the right people. I think a lot of times with a company, you don't have control over who you hire. So you hire a lot of soft, woke, loser people, right, Rob? You know what I'm talking about. And ultimately, those people are the downfall of the business and the organization. If you can control hiring and you fill it with the right people after you've built it, the company will stay strong and long for a longer period of time, as if you have taken a blue chew or a little blue pill, stronger and longer for a longer period of time. You like that? We're not even sponsored by Blue Chew. Maybe we will. But build it and then fill it. Fill it with the right people, the people that have similar viewpoints, similar ideas, similar paths. Right here behind me, you can't see it. Behind me, in front of me, behind you. Don't look behind you, especially if you're like treadmill or something like that. Don't look. That'd be kind of weird. You'd fall off. But I'm telling you right now, I'm looking at vision boards. And all of these vision boards have very similar things, cars and houses and rings and education and vision and being an investor and a Rolex and a yacht and all of these aspirations. In 1 and 5 years, we had everybody do a vision board, and we're filling it with people. We didn't ask anybody to do the same things, but they all have very similar vision boards, again, because we're filling it with the right people. So build it, then fill it. Build it the right way, then fill it with the right people. Really important. Number 2, here we go. We're cooking with gas, baby, as they say. Things and people need service and stewardship. So there are people in life and leaders in life that are better stewarding and servicing things. And then there are people and leaders in life that are better at stewarding and serving people, things and people. There's folks, maybe it's you. Maybe you're somebody that loves stewarding Excel spreadsheets. Maybe you just love systems and processes. Maybe you just love inanimate objects, whatever that is, or operation stuff, or parking passes, or whatever the case is. Those things need stewardship. Those things need leadership. Those things we cannot forget about, because that's what makes a business run. So operations, right? Finances, like that stuff really, really matters. Leaders also need to lead things, but then also need to lead people and need to paint vision and need to find out what their needs and wants are, find out what their goals are, find out what their whys are. So a leadership team needs folks to both steward things and people. And you need to know the difference. It's very important. Even if like you're in a family, for example, and you're a husband and a wife, and let's say you have kids, or let's say you have finances and a house and cars and all this other things. My point is, typically there is the mom that either stewards the people or the things, and then there's a dad that stewards the people or the things, but they both have significant roles within inside of one, and they take pleasure in stewarding those things. So that's the lesson that I've learned. I'm not very good. I'm better at the people side, to be frank with you. Scott is much better at the things side. He's very good with stewarding things. I'm very good with stewarding people and leading people, and Connor's a good mix of both. So that's why we all mesh very, very well together, because you do need different roles. So things and people both need stewarding and stewarding differently. Speaking of teams, a growing team, this is number 3. Number 3 for you, Rob. We can put like a banner. Number 3. This 3. A growing team transitions from generalists to specialists. So what I mean by that is, in the beginning of our company, we were just doing everything. I mean, like literally, I have worn so many hats, not just this one. Shout out to Merrill Golf. Okay, we got a little custom hat. But literally everything from payroll to figuring out insurance to putting this desk together to creating a business plan to setting up QuickBooks, starting a business bank account, getting licensed, getting bonded, getting insured, setting up accounts with lenders. Like I can literally go on and on and on, hiring people, firing people, creating paper. I literally can go on and on and on. And I do everything. Oh yeah. And by the way, to keep the fucking lights on, aside from putting everything I had into the company over the last 12 months, literally every dollar, by the way, I went from having somewhere around 300 grand. This is a good lesson for you. It's in sacrifice, which is number 12. We'll get there. Going from 300 grand in your checking to 397 bucks at one point. Like, yeah, you do everything you possibly can, my point is though, I've done everything. And to keep the fucking lights on, aside from doing all those things over here, which is the general things that you need to do to run a business, I also had to originate mortgages and help clients find loans and find homes and purchase a home or refinance and pay off their debt. So aside from having a headset on, I was also doing all of those things. So were my business partners. And you just become this generalist, and they would say a jack of all trades. And you tend to master all of those trades as business goes on. So again, a growing team, because we were growing, and to grow, if it was just going to be us three, we didn't have to do all these things, but we wanted to grow. So we became generalists, and now we're transitioning from generalists to specialists. For example, I'm the CEO. My job is vision, marketing, being the face of the franchise, so to speak, creating sales plays, what I want to hear, see, feel on the telephone and in the office. Someone called it maybe a chief vision officer is what a CEO does. That is my specialty. I only do that now. There's other things that I do along with writing mortgages and those things, but that's my specialty. Scott is our chief operating officer. Again, generalist, we're all doing shit. Now we're specializing. He does everything from parking to facilities to licensing to payroll, everything regarding the day-to-day operations of our business. He does. That's his specialty. He also writes loans, specialty. CFO, Connor, he is our chief financial officer. He makes sure that we're not in the red, that we're doing the right things, that our ledgers are balanced, that people are getting paid, compensation's taken care of, insurance is taken care of, anything bringing in financial advisors, bringing in people to talk to our guys, bringing in life insurance people, like that is his job. His specialty is anything finance related. Making sure our relationships with our lenders are up and up, so to speak. That's his job, along with writing loans. Then we have Casey, who just got initiated, so to speak. Should we say initiated? I feel like it's bad, but whatever. It is what it is. Casey's now our chief risk officer. Everything back end from cradle to the grave, he handles. That's what he does. So instead of us three and then Casey added on, us four doing everything under the sun as a generalist, now we're specialists. We have things that we do. Now we have loan officers that are here literally to just originate mortgages and represent the brand. We have folks on the back end, VPs of risk that help Casey out for just the VP side. And we have dialers to just dial. My point is, as you grow, you become generalists at first and specialists later on. Number 4, this is a long form, guys. Long form. Hopefully you're getting a lot out of it. Hopefully you're writing things down. I'm going to market the shit out of this. We're going to market the shit out of this. These are really good learning lessons. Again, I'm just trying to help you out. So number 4, the best organizations that I've ever seen is as you become an entrepreneur, you start to study things that work well. You start to study the best organizations, the best leaders. You start to study all of these things. The best organizations that have ever been run have smaller leadership teams, plural leadership, meaning side by side, not one person is in front of the other. Okay. So it is a unified front of leadership. There's not me as the CEO and then everybody else in a flying V. It is linear. We are side by side, walking together, unified. We have conversations behind closed doors. And then ultimately what the world sees is a basically accumulation of what we talk about. Make sense? Number 1, Number two, there's singular headship. If it comes down to, again, the best organizations, small leadership teams, plural leadership, we're all in a line, but there is singular headship. And what I mean by that is if a decision is at a standstill, if a decision is in, what is it called? A gridlock, so to speak, or a stalemate, if you will. See, this is 75 hard, just mental acumen, fucking sharp, Robbie. This is vocabulary. This is what we fucking do, baby. Excuse the F-bombs. You know what you're getting into when you listen in, okay? But there's singular headship. If it comes down to it, I'm going to make the decision. Like, this isn't up for debate. And I trust that my guys know that, and they know that I have their best interest in mind. I would never make a decision and never even say that it's my company and I'm going to do it this way. That's not how it works. Again, we have conversations, but ultimately, if we're in a stalemate or a gridlock, guess what? I'm going to make the decision. Again, plural leadership, singular headship. The best organizations in the world are ran that way because they can move nimbly, quickly, with respect to each other. They trust each other because there is plural leadership. No matter what percentages look like, so on and so forth, that's how the best organizations are run. That's how our organization is run. It's really easy to have 2 or 3 or 4 business partners, whatever the case is. Everyone has equal parts. But then we need to move. We need to move in a certain direction. And it's really important that, again, behind closed doors, you have these conversations of vision. You have these conversations of where you want the company to grow. Everybody has an equal voice in that conversation. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What should we do here? What should we do here? And we whiteboard it. I spent an hour in here with my guys whiteboarding what we want the next 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 90 days to look like, because we're trying to do things differently inside of the mortgage industry. So again, best organization, small leadership team. Okay, we're side by side making decisions together, but there also is singular headship. Speaking of that, number fifth thing I've learned in 12 months. Not even halfway, Pastor Rob. Okay. Fifth thing, the relationship comes before the role. I just did this on a walk thought. If you're listening and you've been watching, it's early February, and the relationship comes before the role. I've had great relationships with each of our leaders, and we have been friends for a long time. I trust these guys with my life, with my wife, with my money, with everything. And you might think, what are you talking about? Your life and your wife and your money. If you can trust somebody with your wallet and your bank account, and they have access to it, and they understand what the goals are, and they understand you really trust them that much, you should go into business with them. If you can trust them in closed doors with your wife, behind closed doors, so on and so you should do business with them. If you can trust them, life on the line, they got your back as if you went into war and they had your back no matter what, you should do business with them. So that's what I mean by that. And again, the relationship comes before the role. And what I mean truly by that is that competency in a role can be tested quickly. It's very easy to do so. Are you competent? Can you be our CFO? Can you be a loan officer? Can you be a processor? Can you be a whatever the case is? Yes, I can do the fucking job. Competency is tested quickly. However, character takes time to test. So if you don't have a relationship and trust and respect and love built in a relationship prior to getting into that role or getting into business with each other, it's really hard to make that relationship, that role, and ultimately the business last a long time. There has to be, again, relationship before the role, and just remember that competency is tested quickly, but character takes time to test. So get into business with the right people, and hopefully that hits home with you. A lot of folks, Rob, they say it's hard to get into business with family or friends or whatever the case is. It's really not. If you go through these things that I'm teaching you right now, and maybe you've heard it before, maybe you haven't, probably not, because they're things that I've fucking learned over the last 12 months. You're going to be able to do business with anybody. You can do business with your mom. You can do business with your girlfriend, your wife, your sister, your best friends. It doesn't matter. These things really matter. And I'd love to help you guys. You obviously can drop a comment below or hit me up on Instagram at Mr. Cody Adams. I'd love to help you guys through the business transition or whatever consulting work that you might need. I love doing this stuff. It lights me up. It gets me super excited. I'm helping a couple different brokerages right now, and then also a couple really outside of my realm of business, a restaurant, which is kind of cool. And you obviously know who you are, and a couple other businesses that I'm helping along the way. And it's, again, not because I'm doing great things, not because we're doing well as an organization and it's just a flash in the pan, but because I've learned quite a bit over the last 12 months. Speaking of that, number 6, it's good for you to understand, for those of you frustrated leaders lead, winners win, right? You ever been frustrated before with your people? Here it is. Good policy reduces misery. So as a employee or team member of an organization, or as an ownership piece or an owner of an organization or a leader with inside of the organization, good policy will reduce misery. Have you ever been in a situation where maybe you're frustrated with somebody coming in late every day? Rob, what do you think? You're a leader for a long time. You're frustrated with them? Yeah. What about them not doing their day-to-day tasks or half-assing it? That's frustrating. That makes you miserable, right? Or maybe unclear communication with said team member or even with your leader, right? Like some places you have a leader on top above you. Maybe there's, I can go on and on with examples, but the reason why you're miserable is because you don't have good policy or structure. You don't have rules. As simple as I can put it, you don't have rules in place. It's very lax. The communication hasn't been there. The expectations haven't been set. So you're fucking miserable because you haven't made the decision to communicate your expectations in a way that it's very clear for everybody to follow. My number one most frustrating thing in life as a leader is feeling like I'm on different pages with my people. Like, number one, it is not that you can come in. I don't give a shit about really anything else. Communication, having a good attitude, and making sure we're on the same page. So this, for me, I know it's 6, smack dab in the middle. Hopefully you're still watching and listening. It's probably the most important for me specifically. Good policy reduces misery. It's not going to ever, it says reduce, Robbie. It's not going to ever fix it. Okay. You wouldn't get paid the way you're getting paid. You wouldn't be an entrepreneur. You wouldn't be a leader. You wouldn't be a winner if it just good policy just completely eliminates misery. No, good policy reduces misery. Okay. Because you wouldn't have a job if it eliminated it. See, I could just put rules and processes in play for human beings to follow. And for human beings to follow those rules and processes, if they did it 100% of the time, you wouldn't have a job as a leader. That's what you got to remember. So, for example, if you don't have a start time and an end time, and you don't have consequences built around that start time and end time, making sure that people are on time to work, you're going to be miserable. So are your people. If you don't have accountability measures for production goals, and accountability conversations, how to have those conversations, the policy in place, you're going to be miserable. Because there's this unknown. Is this person even in it? Are they even like wanting to work? There's so many unknowns because of the policy not being there. So again, good policy reduces misery. So put those rules in play, put those things in play, have the communication up front, the expectations, and then ultimately hold people accountable to those expectations, and it reduces your misery immensely. Cool? All right. Number 7. So hot fire, my friend. I gotta take a drink of coffee. It is what it is. Hopefully you're still watching and you're taking notes. I really would appreciate it. I'm not trying to, again, remember guys, these are because I'm sharing this stuff with you because I've got kicked in the motherfucking face over the last 12 months. So I'm trying to share this with you guys so that you don't. And if you're maybe a leader at an organization, maybe working at an insurance company, or you're in mortgages somewhere at like Wells Fargo and you're a team leader, or a sales leader, like hopefully you can leverage and use these things because they're applicable everywhere. Even if you're a parent, like half of this stuff, again, being a parent is being a leader. And I've said that many of times, like it is, you can use a lot of this stuff. Speaking of that, everyone matters and it's not about you. So everybody matters. At our company, we do loans from $25,000 to $2.5 million. We treat everybody the same way because they're human beings. So yes, my commission and our client our bankers, our loan officers, me, everybody in here makes more money off a $2.5 million loan than you do a $25,000 loan. That's how it works. It is what it is. But you're going to get treated the same way with us because everybody matters. You're a human being. Same thing in the office. It doesn't matter if you are a brand new junior broker, blueprinter, if you will, that are dialing leads, or you're me as the CEO of the company and everybody in between. Everybody matters and everything matters. It is not about you. It is about your people. Your people deserve to be noticed and recognized. I've talked about it before, but time, money, and recognition, 3 big motivators for folks. Do you know what their main motivator is? Do you know what's going on outside of the office? Everybody matters. So many times we can look at what's in it for me. What are things that I'm doing? Because you get so kind of caught up in life, right? Like there's things that we all kind of come to fruition as human beings. And ultimately we sometimes lose sight that it's not about us and it's ultimately about them. And one thing I can share with you is that when you make it about you, you tend to make less money and have less success. This is something where I learned this the hard way when I was at Rocket Mortgage a long time ago. I made it about me and making money and hitting goals and hitting tier and hitting senior director and doing all this stuff. And I never did. I didn't hit it. I mean, I did on my first go and so on and so forth, but I was making it too much about me and I lost a lot of people along the way. My attrition was terrible. I literally lost a lot of people. So anyways, long story short, when I started making it about the team and everybody else and watching them win, we started to have massive success. Massive success. So again, it's not about you. Everybody matters. Make it about them. You'll have massive, massive success. Number 8. Here we go. We have 5 more. 8. I know you might be thinking, Cody's 13. No, it's 8. This is number 8. Here we go. Generosity funds hospitality. You know what's crazy? I used to have these people, Rob, these leaders that would reach out and they're like, how do you spend so much money? You're on my team for a while. How do you spend so much money on your team? Or why do you do all? I spent thousands of dollars per month on my team. Because again, back to number 7, everybody matters, not about you. Generosity funds hospitality. When you spend money on your team and you make people happy, they tend to do better. So that's really something I would like to drive home with you. So if you're an entrepreneur or a sales leader or whoever you are listening to this right now, make sure to spend money on your people. My girlfriend, Chloe, she runs a boutique and she's really embodied this quite a bit. She's like, wow, you take your team to dinners all the time and you do. Yes, 100%. She's starting to do it and they're starting to do a hell of a lot better, which is really exciting. She just took a little bit of what I'm doing and ultimately implemented it, which I think is really cool. And remember, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like you don't have to do anything crazy. Buy them a meal, take them out for coffee, to get some t-shirts, like do something to where not only are you building culture, but you're also being generous with your time, money, or resources that you currently have. Use your network, do cool things with your people. And I promise you guys, like we went to the Charles Schwab Cup and we just walked around and had some beers. That was fun. It was free. I used my network to get free tickets, and that's what we did. Same exact thing for the Waste Management Open. We're big golfers. Went to the Waste Management Open on Wednesday, which is a pro-am. I think I bought 2 tickets, and I had 11 people go with us because I leveraged our network. So it's not always about spending money, but again, generosity funds hospitality. Speaking of generosity, I've talked about this before, but along the lines of number 8, I want to just share this with you as well. Stop giving fucking discounts. I'm so sick of it. So last month, and this is not a brag, you guys probably saw it online if you follow me, I sold 11 loans and made 70 grand. That's a lot of money. I had a lot of great clients, a lot of referrals, so on and so forth. And those closed, by the way. They're not like some bullshit. You can look them up online, MMI, Mortgage Market Index, which is sweet. There were other folks inside of our organization that sold less or sold just the same amount of loans, if not more, and made less money because they gave discounts. I also had higher loan volume with a couple loans that were really big, but long story short, that's the reason why. You and your business, generosity funds hospitality. Stop giving discounts. Generosity, meaning how big your margin is or whatever the case is on the sale that you have, make sure that you understand that margin is going somewhere. It's going to fund hospitality down the road. Hospitality in the form of getting and acquiring new talent and clients, doing cool things for your people. Every single closing that we have, I send out a thank you box. It is a custom coffee mug. It is a pack of coffee. It is a card. It is like it's pretzel sticks. It's a box. It's with a bow. Like, it costs money, but that's built into our process and to who we are. It's part of the experience. So not only are we giving back to our people, not only are we funding hospitality, but our process, our rates, our cost, everything is better already. So those are things that you have to understand. Again, generosity funds hospitality, and then stop giving discounts. Like, at the end of the day, your friends should pay double. You've probably heard me say that before, but if I own, like, for example, my buddy Alex, he owns a car shop. Like, I never asked for discounts from that guy. You know why? Because it's my buddy. Like, I'm going to pay double, dude. Whatever you say goes. Like, I trust you. And it should be the same in every single place, every single industry. Pay double, stop giving discounts. All right, generosity funds hospitality. Here we go. Number 9. This is probably one that I'm most familiar with, and it's a unified team yields supernatural results. So, truth be told, at Rocket Mortgage, or now in the last month or so, we get to pick it up this month, but it is what it is. Last month, the month before, we crushed it. We did really well, which is exciting, but it's because we were unified in lockstep, not only as a leadership team, but we had a goal and a vision in mind. We were unified as a unit, and we saw supernatural results. I mean, literally, closings per banker and loans per banker, we were top in the country. And you can ask our account executives about that, which are with our lenders, which is exciting. But again, these are lessons that we learn when we're not unified, when we aren't on the same page, and we have different goals and we have different visions for what we want said month or said week or said even day to look like. We don't see supernatural results. This really is a product and a refresher for me over the last 12 months, because when we were at Rocket Mortgage, we won March Madness, Q Olympics. Every single month, we were one of the top teams in the entire company out of hundreds of teams. And that was because we had a unified and focused plan, and we saw supernatural results because of the belief system that we had and because of the unification of the team. You probably saw it most right now with the Chiefs just won the Super Bowl. They unified behind something that was shit talking, right? They literally took it to heart. Everybody was talking shit, or maybe they made it up. I don't think anyone was really talking shit, Rob. I think it was just they made it up. But they rallied behind a cause and then ultimately kicked everyone's ass to get to where they needed to go, which was really cool to see. But they, again, unified behind a cause and a vision and a goal, and ultimately they saw supernatural results in the form of winning a Super Bowl, which is exciting. So just a good refresher. Number 10, be prepared for criticism. You can either be a 1-star leader or you can be a 5-star leader. What do I mean by that? Right now we have 60 5-star Google reviews, which is sweet. Really cool. Mastro's City Hall. Rob, you wouldn't believe this. Mastro's City Hall, 80 reviews. Kind of cool, right? Yeah, 4.8 stars. We have 60, and we've only been in business 6 months. Really writing loans and interacting with clients. We've been in business a year, 12 things in 12 months. Fuck off. But 6 months, 60 reviews. Really cool. 5 stars. What I will tell you, though, is that there's no room for anything in between. And you're like, Cody, that's crazy. Yeah, there isn't. At our company, if you get less than a 5-star, you have 2 strikes. The first one, even if it's 4 stars, that's strike 1. You get a second one, you're not working here. 5-star reviews and how we treat our clients and how we treat our people. I'd rather be a 5-star leader or I'd be a shitty leader or a really good leader. I don't want to be anything in between. I don't want to be a lukewarm leader. I don't want to be a gray area leader. I don't want to be some leader that's, he's pretty good. That's not what I want to do. Neither do we want to have that same experience. We don't want our clients to say, it's a pretty good banker. No, we want the best banker. That was the best banker, the best loan officer I've ever fucking worked with in my entire life. That's the best company that I've ever worked with in my entire life. That's our standard. Because if it's not the best, then it's nothing. Ricky Bobby said it best. What did Ricky Bobby say? You're the first or you're last. Be prepared for criticism, because guess what? Being 5-star expects you to be different. Being 5 stars, you need to be kind of outside the box and kind of crazy. And that's okay. Like, you need to do that. You need to be different to be 5 stars, but you need to be prepared for criticism. If you're going to start a company, or you're going to do something outside the box, or create anything of value, or pursue your life's work with all your might and all your focus, you're going to get some criticism. You're going to have people talk shit. There's going to be people behind your back. You just know it. You fucking know it. I have friends that I know have a separate text message, that are friends from a long time ago, that they talk a bunch of shit behind my back because I'm fucking out here doing this right here, because I'm putting myself out here, putting everything I have into a company. And all it is just projecting. It's projecting themselves, because they're doing the same fucking shit that they've done for 30 fucking years. They're doing the same thing. They're projecting, talking shit, accumulating, because misery loves company, and then ultimately talking shit about me that's trying to do something with their life. It happens. I know it happens. You're going to be prepared for, and that's friends and family. I know friends and family that are doing that for sure. There's also outsiders that have never met you before, but because they saw one thing online, or because they heard one thing about you, or it's all hearsay, they're going to give you 1 star in life. Like, not just on Google reviews. Like, Google reviews is cool, but I'm talking about in life. Fine, fuck them. Like, they won't get it until you've made it. They won't get it until you've made it. And when you made it, and they're talking all this shit year 1, and then year 10, you're inviting them on your fucking yacht for fucking Christmas, and you're hanging out with your family, and you're inviting them on their yacht, and they're fucking showing up in their fucking minivan, things are changed. Things have changed, right? I knew you were going to make it, man. I knew it. I had always believed in you. Fucking bullshit. I remember every single text and every single call and everything that I've ever been shown, by the way, and I'll never forget it. But remember, be prepared for criticisms. It's either 1 star or 5 stars. It's really important that you remember that. I would rather be 5 stars or 1 star, nothing in between. Don't be a 4-star leader. Don't be a 3-star team member. Be 1 star or 5 stars. Be a piece of shit or be something great. That's really, I guess that's it. All right, number 11. This is an ode to Robbie Conus. Okay, Robbie Johnson. I'm sorry, man. You did change that on me. You changed it. You changed it on me twice, and I don't appreciate it. And I wrote it in my diary. I'm sick of it. So, I'm kidding. Just trying to make him laugh, guys. Just trying to make him laugh. All right. Business is an ode to my friend. We play baseball together. Some called us Switch. It is what it is. There's a reason behind it, but that was fun. DM me. Drop a comment below. Don't do that. All right. Business is singles, and stealing bases is not home runs. So many people get into business and they think, hey man, I'm fiddling with this cup quite a bit. I apologize. I'm just excited. You think you're going to hit a home run right off the bat, man. And it's just not the case. You're not going to just fucking get it right away. And you're going to go through trials and tribulations. You're going to get kicked in the face and in the nuts every single day. And then you're going to go a week and you're like on top of the world and it's incredible. And you feel like you're hitting home runs every day. And then all of a sudden, bam, you get thrown out, if you will. And I think your expectations are maybe a little bit too high. Like for me, like I started dreaming. Here's an example. When I first started the company, I started dreaming like, dude, if I could close 100 loans a month, let me just do the math for you real quick. Let me show you this, okay? And you guys, this is how margin works with brokerages, right? You set your margin anywhere from 0 to 2.875%. Ours happens to be at 2%, which is very competitive with inside of the marketplace. So if I have 100 loans and I close them in a month, just to give you something, an average loan size, let's call it $310,000. That is $31 million, okay? Our margin is at 2%, so 0.02. That is $620,000, okay? That's how much we would make off 100 closings. Now you pay your bankers and so on and so forth. But I start doing this math and I'm like, dude, here's the cool thing. Personally, I want to originate 100 loans inside of a year. So that means I can make 620 grand. I mean, retrospectively, I know I get paid a little bit less because I got to pay the company, but like, damn, I could make over $500,000. My point is I'm thinking super excited about the year and how much money I can make and all these things. And I'm like, I'm going to hit home run after home run after home run. And then you go a week without writing a loan. And then you go, you write 12 loans or 11 loans your first month. And then right now I have 3. Like, it's not about home runs. It's about singles and stealing bases. It's about every single day approaching it with all your might. It's about every single client giving them the best service and the best phone call that you can ever give them. Small ball, right? Like it's bunts, it's singles, it's getting, like, you really want to win the game long term. You ain't just hitting home runs. Like, here's a prime example. Did the Yankees win the World Series this year? They didn't, right? Weren't they called the Bronx Bombers? They are. Didn't Aaron Judge do it? What happened in the ALCS? He got shut the fuck down. Some would say the home run king. It's still Barry Bonds. It is what it is. Stop with his bullshit. Barry Bonds is the home run king. Okay. He's the American League home run king. Cool. Fine. Guess what? His ass was sitting at home in October. You know who won? Maybe you don't like him, but the Houston Astros won. I know you hate him. Because business and winning long-term, if you want to win the championship, which is being in business 3, 5, 10, 12, 15, 30 years, having a 9-figure buyout, building something, careers, having your guys buy houses and cars. And I'm looking at all these vision boards like that right there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's singles and stealing bases. It's bunts. It's doubles. It's not hitting home runs each and every day. And you have to understand that it's time, it's consistency, it's discipline. That's how great teams win, and that's how great leaders win, and that's how great businesses truly, truly thrive long term. Last but not least, the 12th thing that I've learned in 12 months is sacrifice. I said it before, I'll say it again. I have had money in the bank, so to speak, 300 grand in my checking accounts, checking the savings, whatever. And there was a point over the last year where that whittled down to $397. I have a picture of it on my telephone. I'll never forget it. Sometimes I put it in my back screen just to remember that I'll never go back there. Are you willing to sacrifice everything and go all in? And if you're not, don't go into business. That's just the best lesson I can give to you. Like, I'm willing to go all in. I'm willing to literally die for this. I know it sounds crazy, but I am. Like, I'm willing to do everything I possibly can to go into debt, to spend every dime that I've saved, so to speak, aside from investments and shit like that, but everything that I've saved in checking and savings and put into the company, because it's all or nothing. It's burn the ships type of mentality. And then you go into situations where our run rate right now, just run rate base overhead is like 20 grand plus payroll. So like there's times where I'm funding and we're funding the company, Connor, myself, and Scott. Casey's obviously on the back end helping us out and running everything else, but we're sacrificing thousands of dollars on a month-to-month basis. Really, this last couple, like 60 days, and it's February 17th, 2023, the last 60 days, we've actually taken real full paychecks. Like, I'm proud of that though. Like, I'm proud of spending all that money. I'm proud of withholding paychecks and just paying it back to the company. I'm proud to have these conversations with my guys about, Connor sacrificing 10, 12 grand, Scott sacrificing 20 grand on his paycheck. Fuck it, I'm going to pay it back into the company, right? Like, that shit's important. So are you willing to sacrifice everything to win a business and in life? Are you willing to sacrifice long nights, early mornings? Are you willing to sacrifice time with your kids? Are you willing to sacrifice communication with your spouse? Are you willing to sacrifice or are you not? And if you're not, then don't even step in the arena because you're just going to get crushed and run the fuck over. And if you are, welcome to the show, baby. That's what it's all about. So 12 things we've learned. It's been a long journey of a podcast and on YouTube. It's been roughly an hour, Rob. What do you think? Roughly 40 minutes? Cool. Hopefully you've learned a lot. I went through 12 things. Build it, then fill it. Okay. We can put like a list here, Rob. Build it, then fill it. Okay, things and people need stewarded, both things and people. A growing team grows from generalist to specialists, okay? The best organizations have small leadership teams and small leadership teams, plural leadership, singular headship, one head of the leadership, one head of the serpent, if you will. 5, relationships come before the role. Character is tested over time. Competency can be tested quickly. Number 6, good policy reduces misery. Get your things in order and you'll rework and you'll reduce misery, which is important. Number 7, everyone matters. It's not about you. Number 8, generosity funds hospitality. Stop giving discounts. Be generous with your team. They'll love you back. 9, a unified team. It'll yield supernatural results. 10, be prepared for criticism. Be 5 stars, be 1 stars. Number 11, business is singles and doubles. It's not home runs. And number 12, sacrifice. Appreciate you listening. If you've found this valuable, if you got one thing from it, which I know you did, can you please share our show? Share our YouTube. Like, just subscribe and share it for me. Put it online. Like, we would love to get this message out. Hopefully you found value in it. And if you found value in it, somebody else will. So I appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you again.